Kylie, go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm Kylie Schmitz, founder and coach over at Odyssey Resilience and chief people officer at McGuire Sponsil, which is a new development since we last talked.
Okay, give me the scoop on that. I want to hear the new development.
Yes, I know. So I have worked with McGuire Sponsil for about 5 years now as a coach, sales coach to their sales team. And I was given an opportunity that I could not turn down. And this is actually a role I've held before in the past. I was the chief people officer at a logistics company in Indianapolis, and I worked for them for a total of 4 years. And during my time there, I came into the chief people officer role somewhat by accident. My predecessor left and they asked me if I wanted the position. And initially I was like, oh, hell no, because I don't even know what that means. And I don't know HR. And so very quickly got myself up to speed. I decided I was going to fake it till I make it. And I figured it out. It was a lot of hard work, a lot of late nights. I definitely took ownership of that department and made it my own, and implemented a lot of new systems, processes, SOPs. Just to give you an idea, when I first got into the role, we had about 50 employees. When I left, we had 250, and that was in about a 2.5 year time span. So crazy ass hiring, scaling, organization, systematizing things. Like, it was wild. So fast forward, after that role, I worked for a sales coaching firm and got even more training with my sales skills and sales game. And while I was there, we ended up parting ways abruptly because I hit some aggressive sales goals, and I don't think somebody was prepared to pay me out for
They
them.
didn't pay you, man. Sales oldest time. I've been there. I see you.
Which, like, it's more common than I realized. I have told that story to a handful of people, and I was surprisingly met with a lot of sympathetic people who have walked down the same path before, which is really shitty.
It's shocking to me because it's like I brought in the revenue.
Yeah.
And a piece of it is my, like, can you just give me the piece that I brought in? It's
right
there.
We both won.
Deposited it. Yeah. Come on.
We both won. So
make it work.
Unexpectedly, I was funemployed, I like to call it, and did not have a job, and was like, all right, what am I gonna do? And decided that I could either go work for somebody else, or I could decide to shoot my shot and start my own company. And I did. And so for the last 3 years, I've been on my own as an entrepreneur, and I created what first started out as Blue Door Consulting Group and then morphed into Odyssey Resilience. Really, finding my identity as an entrepreneur was a journey, and where I landed was, I think everybody needs more resilience. I think this is a model that everyone can benefit from. It's not like you can have low resilience and still be successful in life. You're still going to get adversity, and it's how we handle it that's really going to depend on where your life goes. So I clung to this resilience model that we use for our coaching at Odyssey, and we built a business out of it. And I say it's me and my almost husband, Chris. And we're working with several different organizations. We like to say we coach high performers, athletes and corporate athletes. We work with really high performing professional organizations and some professional athletes. So it's really cool to see resilience in action on a regular basis. And fast forward, plot twist, I got offered this full-time position. And first I was like, oh no, heck no, I'm not going back into corporate America. And then as I thought about it, I'm like, man, this is actually really aligned with my mission. My mission is to help people unlock their full potential. What a cool way to do it inside of this organization that I have already worked with for 5 years and love. And am so aligned with the leadership team, and I've already worked with the sales team super closely. They are revenue generators and make the system go. And I am super pumped right now. And I look back and, I won't give you all the gory details of my experience at the logistics company or at the sales coaching firm, but I truly feel like those things had to happen in order for me to be well suited and have the experience necessary to go into this position. And I feel so confident in my abilities now to take this organization to the next level and do what I did before, but with all this extra experience and training and knowledge and just mindset, I think is what I'm really excited about.
I love that. Congratulations. I talk with a lot of folks who are oftentimes they're looking at the exit door to a cushy job as an entrepreneur. They're looking at it like, oh man, maybe I should just quit and go over there. But if you ignore that and you just focus on staying in your genius zone, what oftentimes happens is you end up walking through that door anyways in the way that you like to, right? The way that you would prefer to do it instead of like as a cop out, right? And it sounds like your career positioned you in such a way to take that opportunity and have it align with your vision.
So well said.
Now, I've gone back and forth over the years into and out of entrepreneurship. I'm curious, is Odyssey Resilience going to take the back burner, or you're bringing it with you into it and it just follows you and becomes you? Is Chris going to run it on his own and scale it in his own way? What happens with the other business? Or are we trying to chase two rabbits?
So I am fully committed to my role at McGuire Sponsil and am stepping away from Odyssey, but Odyssey will still continue to grow and thrive with Chris leading the charge. And I'm super confident that it's still going to be everything it was meant to, and then some, with him making this baby really his own. And the cool thing is we've spent the last 3 years building the foundation, getting the operations up and running, ready to take on maximum capacity. And then when we get to a point where we want to bring on some additional people to help scale, we'll be ready for it. But yeah, I'm fully in on this new role with McGuire Sponsil, and it's really going to take up full time.
So I've got a couple questions for you. And one of them is a little bit selfish. I have a scenario right now where I've got a contractor. Okay. So this is a very, very much a people question. And this is hot on my mind. Just talked about it with my partner today. I've got this contractor who is an absolute ass kicker. We consider her an employee, right? She is in, but we're just playing the 1099 game as most, small businesses do.
Yeah.
And she serves in a similar capacity for another business. And I know that business is trying to monopolize her time and like take her over full time. And so we're thinking through like, okay, we're thinking culture, we're thinking job description, we're thinking genius zone, we're thinking all these types of things to make it so that we are the best place for her if it is in fact the best place for her, right? So we want to make sure that she knows where her role is here and that she feels really happy with that. And if it is the thing that is the best for her, that she stays. And so I know I'm giving you a really light rundown of the situation, but I'm curious because I know that a lot of people run into this issue all the time. They're trying to build an organization. They got some contractors over here, some contractors over there, and they're like serving lots of different businesses, and they kind of want them in their own organization. Where would you start if you were me? What are some of the questions that you would ask, the models that you would follow to take this incredible human being that we have nurtured and trained and built into this ass kicker and keep her here and maximize her potential in our organization?
I think it comes down to alignment. And what I mean by that is alignment to vision and values. So when I think about my decision and how I arrived at this conclusion, I think about my vision and where do I want to be in my life. And when I think about it, I more so want to have a certain lifestyle. To me, that's my main motivator. I want to be able to relax and have a flexible work style. I can go into an office. If I want to work remotely from a sandy beach, I can do that. To me, those are some of my priorities and my vision for my future. Now, my mission, which is unlocking people's potential, I can do that in any kind of container, right? And so when I think about this decision for me, I evaluated whether or not I was still going to be on mission, right? And I stay married to the mission, not the method. The method could be I work 1099. The method could be I'm a W-2 employee. The method doesn't really matter as long as I'm completing my mission. And so I would ask your contractor, what's her mission? What does she really feel passionate about? What is her vision? Perhaps a full-time role with you guys could help her get to her vision faster. And then from a values perspective, what are the values? Like if somebody, I think of values as your culture on display, right? Your values create the culture that people feel and experience. And sometimes it's intangible. You can't really, you can't quite quantify it or describe it. It's just like a feeling. People feel welcome when they come into a certain organization, or they feel like, oh, this is stuffy, right? Those are all values on display. So when you think about your values versus her values, how do those align? Do her values fit really nicely inside of how you guys do business? Like one of the values of the logistics company I worked for was whatever it takes and every time. And sometimes whatever it took was lying. And so for me, integrity was something that constantly got violated every time I had to lie to get the job done, right? So you think like, how are those values in alignment? How is her mission and her vision in alignment with the greater vision and mission that you guys have? And I just see how those line up.
Thank you. The vision and the mission and the values, this is something that we had a all hands meeting as a company yesterday, and we dove in deep on those. For your own life, how did you figure those out? Was it the process of writing them down, journaling, mentoring? How did you meditate on the top of a mountain and lightning, chiseled them into a stone in front of you? Like, how did you arrive at where you are now?
Yeah. It's really interesting because I slowly but surely articulated my values over time. However, I have facilitated an exercise with clients of mine so that they can articulate their values in a very, obviously, more of a workshop style setting. But we did record a podcast episode. Our podcast is currently called Redefining Resilience, but we're actually about to do a little bit of a name change and call it The 1%. So I don't know at what point people are going to be listening to this, but search for both if you can't find the first one. But there's actually a core values and alignment episode where I walk everybody through an exercise on how to articulate your core values. And really, if you think back to it, it's like, what are the filters by which I make decisions? For me, it's fun, integrity, learning, and achievement. Those are my 4 personal core values. So when it comes down to if somebody invites me to an event, first thing I'm going to think is this going to be fun? It's with a bunch of accountants. So perhaps not fun for me because I don't speak accountant, but could I potentially learn something? Because learning is one of my other core values. If I can learn something, then I might be down to try it out. Achievement. Perhaps am I getting a certification by attending this? If I can get a certification or some kind of achievement from going to this, then it aligns with me. And then integrity, big one for me, that's like the non-negotiable. I'm not even going to keep you in my life if you don't have integrity, because if I can't trust you, if you lie to me, if you do something deceptive, we have no foundation to stand on. So for me, those 4 things are how I filter decisions.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. So integrity is one of mine. I have presence, wisdom, integrity, gratitude, and self-mastery are the ones that I came to. And those, I did the exercise of just listing every single adjective that I want myself to be described as. And this happened after I left the Mormon church as well, because I was like, okay, what are my values, right? not any religion, not any clergy, whatever. Who am I? And so I started combining them together. So I had like honesty and integrity were on there. And I was like, okay, I can merge those together. So I went through this like mitosis process of consolidation until I ended up with 5. And then I was encouraged to find a chief aim. And yours, right? Your mission for your life is about human optimization. Mine is about elevating consciousness.
Ooh, I like it.
I want people saying far out as much as possible. Wow, cool. That's possible in this world. You're levitating off the ground. You know what I mean? Like whatever it takes. So I vibe with that. The integrity piece, I think, is the ultimate vibe check for everybody. And it's a critical element in every entrepreneur. But Kylie, where can everyone find you?
LinkedIn is a good spot. I'm pretty active on there. And then Instagram's cool too. I'm Coach Kylie on Instagram, Coach_Kylie.
Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you.
This has been the Pulse Ox podcast. Please, if you found this episode valuable, give us a like on Spotify and share it with a friend.